Hey everybody and welcome back to Love English. I'm Sabrah. So today guys, super useful lesson. We're looking at 20 conversational English phrases that will really help you to be able to know what to say in which situation. So for example, we're looking at phrases for meeting somebody for the first time, phrases for agreement, for asking somebody how they are, and just very typical conversation phrases. So hopefully they will help you to be more confident in English and also to flow more with the English language once you have learnt these as fixed phrases. So are you ready to learn? Let's get started. I hope you guys are all doing well. I'm going to have a try today at saying hello in some of your languages. Now, I might get the pronunciation wrong, so forgive me if I do, but I'm going to give it a try. So, ni hao for any Chinese people who are watching, salam for any Arabic people who are watching, ciao, hola for people from Italy, Spain, Portugal who are watching, and this one is a little bit more difficult. Ohayo mas, genki desu ka? That's for anybody who's watching from Japan. If you want me to say hello in one of your languages, guys, then leave me a comment below and in the next video, I'll try and do that. So number one, how are you doing? How are you doing? This is a phrase to say, how are you? How are you doing? It's more informal though, and remember that the you will become a ya. So you can use this with colleagues, family, friends, but not, for example, in an interview or something like that. So it's relaxed, but it's not so relaxed. It can be used in many situations.
Hey, how you doing?
Number two is I reckon. I reckon. I reckon means I think. It's a more informal way to say I think. So for example, you might say, I reckon it will rain later. So you're guessing. When you say I reckon, you're thinking, but there's also a little bit of guess involved. So you might say, I reckon my favourite football team are going to score tonight. I reckon they'll score. You can also ask the question, do you reckon? Do you reckon? So remember, lazy English conversation, connected speech will be do you reckon or do you reckon, like that. So I've got a question for you guys. What tea do you reckon I'm drinking? English breakfast tea, Earl Grey, green tea. What do you reckon I'm drinking? British people love their tea. What do you reckon I like? Number three. Number three is, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter means this isn't a problem for me. It's not a big deal for me. It doesn't matter. So for example, if your friend calls you and says, sorry, I can't make it. I can't make our meeting today. I'm really sorry, next time. If it's not a big problem for you, if you're not upset, you can say, oh, it doesn't matter. It's okay. It doesn't matter. Number four. Number four is, how do you feel about? How do you feel about? And how do you feel about means, what's your feeling about this thing? Are you okay with it? So if your boss says to you, how do you feel about working on this new project? They're checking if it's okay for you, if you feel comfortable with that. It's also a polite way of British people saying, I want you to do this, but I'm being nice about how I'm asking you. But how do you feel about, you might say, how do you feel about joining the gym? Or how do you feel about pizza tonight? Asking if the person is okay with that. Okay, next one guys, very, very common English verb. Do you fancy? Do you fancy? So I've talked about this before guys in my video on 5 useful British expressions, which you can see just up there. I filmed that on the lovely Bournemouth beach. So it's beautiful views guys, so I recommend if you've got spare time at the end of this video, go and watch that. I fancy doing something means I want to do that thing. I feel like doing that thing. So for example, I might say, I fancy going for a swim tonight. Or I fancy eating Chinese tonight. Or I fancy studying English tonight. So I fancy doing something. It's always with the ing form. So it's a gerund that it goes with. Now to fancy someone is different guys. That means to be romantically attracted to that person. So I think I've said before guys in other videos that I fancy Ryan Gosling. I have a crush on him, so yeah, what can you do? Number 6 is fine by me. Fine by me. This just means it's okay with me. Fine by me. For example, if someone says, let's meet at 8, not 7, you can say, okay, fine by me. It's okay with me. Even more informal would be cool with me. Cool with me. So you can use that as well. Number 7 is what do you mean? What do you mean? Very, very useful if you're an English student to know this expression, what do you mean? So it's for when you want something to be explained to you. What do you mean? English people also ask it to each other. We might say, oh, sorry, I didn't understand that. What do you mean? Remember that you becomes more of a schwa sound, so a ya. What do you mean? What do you mean? Number 8, again, very short expression, so I'm sure you can remember this one, guys. It is will do, will do. And this just means I'm going to do this thing. So yeah, fine, will do. So if your partner or boyfriend or girlfriend says, oh, remember you have to call that person, or remember you have to do this thing, you can say, okay, will do, will do. You can also say it to your boss if you have a good relationship with colleagues. You can say, yeah, I'm going to do that, will do. So it's a lazier way of saying that you're going to do that thing. Okay, number 9. Number 9 is I'll be in touch. I'll be in touch. So I'll be in touch means I'm going to call you, I'm going to get in contact with you. I'm going to WhatsApp you or whatever, but I'm going to be in contact with you. So at the end of an interview, the person might say to you, we'll speak to you soon, we'll be in touch, meaning we'll tell you about the result soon. But it's also a very informal phrase. So imagine you see a friend, you bump into a friend, so you meet them by accident in the supermarket and you want to meet up. You could say, oh, we must find a time to meet. I'll be in touch. I'll be in touch. Now, to lose touch, guys, means to not be in touch anymore. So you've lost touch. You were in contact, but now you're not. But get back in touch means return to being in touch after some time of not being in touch. So let's get back in touch means let's be in touch again. Guys, number 10, we are halfway there. It is, that's really cheesy. That's really cheesy. And that's really cheesy means, oh, so cliche, so too much. Really, 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 like for example, I would say Justin Bieber's music is cheesy. So cheesy music is too much, very pop song, perhaps very romantic, and sometimes it's so much that you don't like it. We often describe movies as cheesy. So very, very romantic movies that feel a little cliche or unrealistic can be described as cheesy. So for example, guys, I went to see the film Valentine's Day with my friend a couple of years ago. And at the end of the movie, we were both like, oh, I want to be sick. That is so cheesy. That is so cheesy. What cheesy movies have you seen, guys? Tell me in the comments. What music in your country is considered cheesy? In the UK, I would say it's pop music on the whole. Some of it is considered cheesy, although it's more negative about movies. Cheesy music in the UK is considered good to dance to, but a cheesy movie is like, oh, too much. Oof, cheesy. Okay, number 11 and 12, I'm going to do them at the same time because they're very similar. And they are, I'm really tired of, and I'm fed up with. So I'm really tired of means you've had enough of that thing. I'm really tired of the traffic on the way to work. I'm really tired of picking up my boyfriend's socks from the floor. He always leaves them on the floor. To be fed up with is very similar. You've had enough of that situation. You feel you've had enough. I'm fed up. I'm fed up with. Number 13 is a swear word, so you wouldn't use it in any formal situation. It is to be pissed off. To be pissed off with something. So pissed off means annoyed, upset, and quite angry, really. If you're pissed off, you say, oh, I'm so pissed off, I got a parking ticket. I was only parked there for 5 minutes and then I got a parking ticket. I'm pissed off. You can also be pissed off with a person. Usually that's that you're angry with them. Now, an important thing to say here is that in American English, pissed off does not exist. They just say pissed. I'm pissed about whatever. But in British English, pissed means to be drunk. So there is a clear difference there. So I remember I lived with an American girl when I was traveling and she said to me, oh, I'm really pissed about this. And I was like, you seem quite sober. And then I realized, oh, she means she's pissed off. So there's a clear difference there. Okay guys, number 14, great phrase for when you bump into someone, so when you meet somebody by accident. It's the second time we've had that phrasal verb. So you meet somebody by accident, you can say, what brings you here? So you're not expecting to see them. You can say, oh, what brings you here? So maybe you see them in a supermarket that you don't expect to see them in, or they come to your work unexpectedly, or you see them in a different part of town where they don't usually hang out. You can say, oh, what brings you here? Strange to see you. But it's also that you're pleased. It's not rude. It's a friendly expression. What brings you here? What brings you here? Okay guys, this is a lovely expression for when you want to make a good impression on somebody when you first meet them. So if you're meeting your boyfriend or girlfriend's father or mother, or if you're meeting somebody that you want to make a good impression on at work or something like this, you can say, oh, nice to meet you. And I've heard so much about you. I've heard so much about you. So this is a nice way to say that I've heard good things about you, and I'm happy to meet you because I've heard good things about you. Now, British people will often joke and say, oh, I hope it was all good. I hope it was all good. So it's a nice kind of easy way to get to know somebody. Number 16, I was wondering about, or I was wondering if. This means you're thinking about something. For example, I was wondering about joining the gym, or I was wondering about learning a new language. I was wondering about learning Italian. I was wondering about learning Japanese, for example. So I was wondering about. So it's something you're thinking about, but perhaps there's a little bit more thought involved than when we just say we're thinking. So I was wondering about something. Number 17, we got this phrase from China. And it is long time no see. So you haven't seen someone for a while, you can say, hey, good to see you. Long time no see. Long time no see. It doesn't work from the point of view of correct grammar. I'm sorry, if you try and think about it in terms of correct grammar, it doesn't work, but it's a very popular and common phrase these days. Long time no see. Number 18, I'm going to explain the difference between these two. Nice to meet you and nice meeting you. Nice to meet you is when you first meet somebody and you shake their hand. In England, you shake the hand and you would say, nice to meet you. But if we change this to nice meeting you, that is at the end of the conversation. So when you're leaving, you say, oh, nice meeting you, good to meet you, nice meeting you. So it's at the end of the conversation. Basically, it was nice meeting you, so it's past continuous. But we're lazy and we've shortened that because it's spoken English, and we just say, nice meeting you. Number 19, super useful phrase, guys, if you're an English student and you want something to be repeated for you. Sorry, I didn't catch that. Sorry, I didn't catch that. So useful. You can also say, sorry, I didn't get that. Could you say it again? So really useful. Sorry, I didn't catch that. Number 20, guys, we have arrived at the end. It is have a good one. Have a good one. So have a good one means have a good time at something or enjoy yourself at a particular thing. When people leave the office on a Friday, or they leave school on a Friday, or they say they're going somewhere, you can say, oh, have a good one. See you guys, have a good one. It means have a good weekend, have a good evening, have a good time at whatever you're going to. So have a good one. Very informal, guys. You wouldn't say it to your boss, but friends, colleagues, things like that. You wouldn't really say it to your grandparents either. It's more family that are a similar age to you. Have a good one. Okay, guys. Well, I hope you guys have a good one. Hope you have a good week. Thank you so much for watching. I really hope this video was useful and that you're going to be able to use these phrases in your everyday conversations. Don't forget to follow us on social media. We're on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and Snapchat. We're everywhere. Please do join us on those networks, guys. Guys, also remember to leave me comments. Tell me about your cheesy movies. Tell me about how to say hello in your languages. Also, guys, try to use some of these in a sentence. Why not try and practice using them in a sentence? Don't forget to subscribe to Love English, guys, so that you don't miss our lessons. Thanks a lot, guys. Have a good one. Bye-bye.